Karen, today, I don't want to like downplay some of your incredible capabilities and accomplishments. So I'm going to share some of them. And I'm going to actually invite you to fill in some blanks, but you certainly have, you rock the world in a big way. You have your Rock the Stage program. That's how we met. We're part of the Evolutionary Business Council together, of course. And I enrolled into your Rock the Stage program. So you teach people, speaking and the business of speaking and all of that. So I want you to just highlight a little bit of that for us before we talk about why we're here today, which is coming up this whole new influence conversation. So we'll get to that in a second. Start it out for us, please. Tell us about, the Karen McGregor evolution to, through what you were and speaking, and now, ta-da, we get you today.
Yes.
You just mentioned, you teed it up, so I'm going to bring us there, that you just finished your third book. And that's what I really want to dive into, because this is the conversation about influence, but certainly done a different way. It's not a manipulation. It's not a heavy-handed power thing. Even you listeners, you probably caught on in a very short period of time, Karen's languaging, how things are, whether they align and connect with her soul, et cetera, right? So you're a special person with strong intuition. I've seen it in action. And so this book is a little bit different, and it's called The Tao of Influence. So let's open that up and talk about the origin. Why was this book so important for you to write in the first place?
Yes. Well, the first two books, they really came from a place of my head, my heart too, but more, it was intellectual and research, that kind of thing. And a little bit, definitely the second one was more around my personal experience going through divorce and that kind of thing. So there was definitely a lot of heart there. But this third book, I felt like it was a real calling for me, because influence for me for many years in teaching Rock the Stage and helping people to speak has been largely based on, language and presentation skills and that kind of thing. But what I noticed, Pete, was that there was a point at which I recognized that we can do influence and that serves the world, but actually becoming influence, like being that person. And you sometimes don't even need to say a word, and people are just drawn to you.
How you show up.
Absolutely. And so what I realized for myself was that a lot of people would say to me, even on my 50th birthday, this was really insightful for me. I asked, how have I changed your world? Or how have I, I wanted to know that, because that was my gift to myself for my 50th birthday. And it was interesting, Pete, because what I thought would happen was, oh, you're such a great mentor. You're such a great teacher. I did this, and this because of you. And yes, I had a few of those. The vast majority of them were not that. They were things like, you're the first person who really saw who I was. You're the first person who really got the depths of who I was. You helped me to shift to a totally new direction because you saw who I was. And those types of comments really made me even work deeper, because I had just started my book, and really work deeper into, so what is the nature of influence? And so I came up with four, of course I'm a teacher by heart, so 4 P's, but the first two I want to address, because I think for all of us, whether we are executives or solopreneurs, we all need to know these 2 things, and that is power and presence. So
excellent.
How we actually navigate our power
Mm-hmm.
is directly correlated. In fact, in the dictionary, influence is connected to power, the word power. So it's very interesting. So how we navigate our power is how we influence for the better or for the worse. And Pete, I know you've studied so much around human potential, right?
Oh, yes.
Um, right. And so we know that in a sense, we're all innocent because we start off, we have experiences that scare us or make us feel less than or whatever it is when we're quite young. And what I recognized in doing my work through power is that because we're all um, innocent to begin with, right? We all just want things innocently. And so in the beginning, we might cry for mother because we're hungry, or we might cry because we're cold or what have you. But as we get older and we have more and more complex needs, and those needs are not necessarily met by our caretaker or school or friends or what have you, um, then when we see that those needs are not met and we feel that initial wound, then we go about, and this is where our power patterns start, we go about starting to get our needs met in unhealthy ways.
Mm.
And so we see children, maybe 9, 10, 11, having temper tantrums as an example. I want that now.
Right, right. Some adults do that too, by the way.
Oh, well, and this is what I was just about to say was that turns into, you know, the corporate bully as an example.
Mm.
So someone who might want to control their life because in the past they had very little control as a child or something was taken from them and they felt helpless. And so they want to be right as an example. So I call
Mm-hmm.
this in my archetypes the boar. The boar wants to be right. The boar has to be in control. The boar is the one that's in a good way, very focused, very dedicated, very goal oriented. So all of this is wonderful, but it often comes with those negative power patterns. And this is
Mm-hmm.
just one. I talk
Yeah.
about 8 of them in my book. But it's very important to know that if we don't handle our power, we can't be present because everything is run from a state of, even if you can't feel the fear, it's run from that state of fear. And so we, all of our attitudes, our thoughts, our behaviors are now projected forward or we're thinking backward. So we're
Mm.
never in the present moment.
Mm.
Right. And so with you, I
Right.
love that you're so present, Pete. That's something that I think very, very few entrepreneurs have handled and mastered. And so that's a big part of my book.
What a nice collection of, P words there, right? I mean, those
Yes.
that you've got my attention. I can't wait to get sink my eyes and ears and body and soul into this thing.